Hi everybody, today we're gonna review this measuring caliper. So this is how I received it from Amazon, and now I'm opening it up and see what's inside. So inside you'll find the owner's manual and the digital caliper, as you can see here, and batteries and a small screwdriver. So while picking this up, I noticed it turned on, and so it seems like it already has batteries. So this is a replacement battery it comes with, and so it's digital. You can actually do metric or standard, US standard, and it's pretty hefty. It's pretty heavy, yeah. So yeah, interesting. Okay, these are the internal and external measuring jaws. And the end of here is the depth blade, so you could put it into something so you could measure how deep something is. And so this to this is equivalent. These are some more measuring blades here, and it helps you do it from the internal, and this is the external. So if you want to measure the outside of something, use this. You measure the inside of something, use this. Measure something, how deep something is, use that. So that's pretty cool. I like calipers in general, but they have to be precise depending on what you want to work with. Here you find the measuring area, how something visually is and analogically is that the bottom is the metric, the top is a US standard measurement, and the digital measurement will tell you here, which is cool because it tells you exactly to the hundredths of how much or something, how long or short something is. Here you'll find a thumb roller where you put your thumb here and roll the measuring caliper, so you don't have to push and pull. This is more precise than pushing and pulling, because it's more to the point. At the top you'll find this little screw head, and it's the clamp to ensure the tightness of something, of this caliper. So the looser this is, the easier it is to move, and the more tight this is, the harder this is to move. And so that way you can kind of keep something in place for a while when you finish measuring, and then you'll tighten it, and then you go to see how much something is, and you'll compare and contrast depending on what you're doing. This caliper goes to 6 inches, which is suffice for most things that people measure for this type of caliper. I mean, you don't want anything too big because you want to use it in general. If it's too big, it's kind of like, why do you need something so big? And this is a perfect size, 6 inches. It's perfect size for a caliper. The next feature is the on and off button and the 0 button here, and the measurement type at the top left. The 0 button's to zero this out, so you want this to be 0 and starting here, and you can measure something longer or shorter, and so that way you can kind of like, oh, this is 18 millimeters longer or 1 inch longer from the original. So it helps you out on determining, measuring on some things that beyond to add to. And of course, the last button is this button. It's the change from US to metric. Pretty straightforward. So behind this little panel here that says IP54 is where the battery's stored. So the case itself is pretty sturdy, and I like something to store my calipers in, and this would be it. It's made for this exact caliper, and it's pretty solid. I mean, you can't really miss it. I like something red because you always know where it is. Definitely a good case for what it is. So if it's like that, so it's basically made for it. It should be, because it came with it. So with this battery, it says it's supposed to last for a year, and that's for continuous use. And also, there's a low battery warning on this device, so that's nice. I mean, that's something you want to have because you don't want to be like, oh, I don't have a battery, I have to go buy and wait if you're in the middle of a project or whatnot. So yeah. So here's the reason why some people would need a caliper. So use this example. So imagine you're trying to measure this thing here to make something to surround it. And so you're like, oh, that's 5 inches. But to make it more exact and you need your enclosure to be precise, you need a caliper such as this one. So to measure, you would get your caliper, zero it out, press 0. Move the caliper, use the internal ones or the external measurements. This is basically here is, you use that. You can use a pinpoint like this. That's what you want to do. And this is a rounded edge. So, and then it'll say the measurement right there, 1.96 inches, 49 millimeters, 0.9 millimeter, 49.9 millimeters. So if I said 5 millimeters, would be like a 10th off, which is okay, but depending on your application, of course. And the next point of this caliper is to say, hey, how would you measure this? In reality, how would you measure this depth, this internal? So you'll use a ruler, like, oh, it's almost 3 centimeters, sorry. And so you wouldn't know exactly how to measure that, but with the caliper you can. So you go like that, use the internal measurements, pull it all the way, and it'll tell you exactly what the measurement is, 28.16 millimeters, which is awesome. Now the hardest part is how would you measure how deep this is, and using a ruler is impossible, so that's what a caliper is used for. So what you want to do is zero it out, put your caliper here, pull down, go like that. You'll see that this sticks out. That's how you measure it. Now we go to the measurement, 7.57 millimeters, or 0.29 inches, which is awesome. Overall, this is a definitely good buy for a general consumer for a caliper, and it's good enough for you to use at home or small projects to have something measured. And I would definitely recommend this to anyone who needs a caliper. It's decently priced and it's not too expensive. It's durable, it's made out of steel, it's pretty heavy for what it is, which I like. I like tools that for precision, it has to be heavy and durable and doesn't mess up the precision of the device or tool. And this can be zeroed out, so that helps a lot if something is bent, and you always zero something out. And definitely like all the features of this caliper. It's kind of standard for all the calipers to have most of these features or all of these features. And I definitely agree that this is a well worth product to buy. Hope that helps you. Take care.